Hello students, welcome to our YouTube channel Vidya for Success. In this video, we will be studying continuation part of CET on the lesson Morphology and Anatomy of Flowering Plants. Then the next question, cross-pollination is a rule in. So in the pollination there are two types. For one is self-pollination, another one is cross-pollination. So in case of cross-pollination, a pollen grain from the one flower will fall onto the stigma of another flower. So this kind of pollination is called as cross-pollination. Clear? So let us look into the option A, cleistogamy. So cleistogamy is nothing but the flower cannot open. So this is one condition. So in this condition flower cannot open. So in the bisexual cleistogamous flower, self-pollination takes place. Clear? And option B, chasmogamy. So chasmogamy is the condition where it is opposite to the cleistogamy. That means that the flower opens at maturity. So if the flowers are bisexual, the self-pollination takes place in the chasmogamous flower. Then option C, dicliny. So dicliny is nothing but unisexuality. That means the either flower consists of male reproductive organ or female reproductive organ. So that here the self-pollination does not occur. So only the chance of pollination is cross-pollination. Then option B, bisexuality. So if the flower is bisexual, the self-pollination can be expected. Clear? So among the four options, the correct one is dicliny, because here without cross-pollination there is no fertilization. So cross-pollination is the only method of pollination can be expected in dicliny. So the correct one is option C. As the next question, a perianth bearing flower is said to be. So perianth is nothing but undifferentiated calyx and corolla in the flower. So we have a number of flowers. They are example for having perianth. Best example is lily flower. There we have undifferentiated calyx and corolla. So if the flower bearing on the perianth is called as what? Let us see the option. Option A, monoclamidas. So the meaning of monoclamidas is the flower forming on undifferentiated calyx and corolla. That means the perianth bearing flowers are known as monoclamidas. Then option B, diclamidas. Diclamidas is the kind of flower. It consists of two accessory orals. That means calyx as well as corolla. Clear? If the flower consists of both calyx and corolla that can be differentiated, that condition is called as diclamidas. Then the option C, aclamidas. Aclamidas is nothing but absence of calyx and corolla. This kind of condition is not there in flowers. Then option D, metaclamidas. So metaclamidas is also not there. So the correct answer is option A, that is monoclamidas. Yes, the next question, an incomplete flower is. So incomplete flower, what is the meaning of this? So flower is called as incomplete flower when it's any of one part is absent. So usually the flower will be having calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. If any one of the part is absent in the flower, that kind of flower is called as incomplete flower. It may be absence of essential oral, or it may be the absence of accessory oral. Accessory oral is nothing but calyx and corolla. Essential oral is nothing but androecium and gynoecium. Clear? So let us see the option. Option A, always unisexual. So here they have considered only the absence of reproductive organ. Clear? So as I told, incomplete flower is nothing but either accessory oral will be absent or essential oral will be absent. Then option B, always bisexual. Clear? So always bisexual, they have just considered the presence of reproductive organs here, not they have concentrated on accessory orals. Then option C, either unisexual or bisexual. This is correct because either the reproductive organs may be present or may not be present. That means either one will be present or both will be present. Then option D, imperfect. So the correct one is option C. Is the next one. In hypogynous flowers, the ovary occurs at. So hypogynous flowers are the type of flowers. So this type of flower is considered based on the position of ovary. Clear? So based on the position of ovary, the flower is divided into three different types. So let us look into the first option. Option A, the highest position. So highest position of ovary is present in hypogynous flower. Hypo is nothing but highest position. Clear? Then option B, the lower position. So if the ovary is located in the lower position, that kind of flower is called as epigynous flower. And option C, intermediate position. So in some kind of flower, the ovary will be located almost equally with the position of other orals. So such a flowers are called as perigynous flowers. Then D, lateral position. So ovary is not located in the lateral position. So among the option, the correct one is option A, that is the highest position. Hypogynous is nothing but highest position of ovary. Then the next question, which of the following characters cannot be expressed by floral formula? So for representing the floral character, we use two things. One is floral formula and another one is floral diagram. So some of the things what is not possible to express in floral formula, that can be expressed in floral diagram. So let us look at the option. Option A, sexuality. So sexuality in the flower can be expressed by floral formula, because some symbols we use to express the sexuality in flower. Then option B, symmetry. So symmetry also expressed by floral formula. So there are three types of symmetry: asymmetric, then actinomorphic, then zygomorphic. So we have symbol to express symmetry in the floral formula. Then option C, adhesion of floral parts. So the attachment of stamens with the petals, or attachment of petals with the calyx, then the unity of members in the calyx and corolla, that can be shown by floral formula. And option D, estivation. So estivation is not possible to show by floral formula, so that we are using floral diagram to show the kind of estivation in the flower. So the correct answer is option D, estivation. Then the next question, cross pollination is a rule in. So in the pollination there are two types. For one is self pollination, another one is cross pollination. So in case of cross pollination, a pollen grain from the one flower will fall onto the stigma of another flower. So this kind of pollination is called as cross pollination. Clear? So let us look into the option. Option A, cleistogamy. So cleistogamy is nothing but the flower cannot open. So this is one condition. So in this condition, flower cannot open. So in the bisexual cleistogamous flower, self-pollination takes place. Clear? And option B, chasmogamy. So chasmogamy is the condition where it is opposite to the cleistogamy. That means that the flower opens at maturity. So if the flowers are bisexual, the self-pollination takes place in the chasmogamous flower. Then option C, dicliny. So dicliny is nothing but unisexuality. That means the either flower consists of male reproductive organ or female reproductive organ. So that here the self-pollination does not occur. So only the chance of pollination is cross pollination. Then option B, bisexuality. Then the seventh question, collenchyma differs from sclerenchyma in. So collenchyma is a living mechanical tissue in plant, and sclerenchyma is called as dead mechanical tissue, because the sclerenchyma after maturity it is going to lose its protoplasmic component, and it will develop a thick wall on the outer surface. So sclerenchyma is called as a dead mechanical tissue in plant. But collenchyma, after its maturity, it will retain the protoplasm and it will give lots of mechanical support to the plant. So collenchyma is a living mechanical tissue and sclerenchyma is a dead mechanical tissue. So let us see how the collenchyma differs from sclerenchyma. Option A, having sclerites. So having sclerites is the character of sclerenchyma, not collenchyma. Collenchyma cell is not having sclerites. Then option B, having thick walls. So thick wall is present in the sclerenchyma compared to collenchyma. And option C, having inside lumen. So inside lumen is also present in sclerenchyma cell. Then option D, retaining protoplasm at maturity. So this is the character what I said about the collenchyma. Is it not? Because of this we are calling collenchyma as a living mechanical tissue, but this kind of nature is not seen in the cells of sclerenchyma. So the correct answer is option D, retaining protoplasm at maturity. Is the next question. Lignin is a component of the secondary cell wall of. So lignin is a secondary cell wall component in sclerenchyma tissue. So sclerenchyma, we know it is a dead mechanical tissue. So being a dead mechanical tissue, it need to give support, mechanical support to the plant. So because of that, the secondary wall deposition what is takes place in the sclerenchyma, that is little hard. So that hard secondary wall will be made out of lignin. Then look into the option A, epidermis, option B, collenchyma, option C, sclerenchyma, option D, parenchyma. So among the four, the dead mechanical tissue is a sclerenchyma. So the correct option is option C, sclerenchyma. Then the next question, terminal and axillary bud are derived from the activity of. So terminal bud is located towards the tip region of the stem and axillary bud is located towards the axial region of the stem. So these two bud region will be developed by the activity of apical meristem, because apical meristem is located towards the tip region of the stem. So its activity helps in the formation of terminal as well as axillary bud in the plant. So see the option A, parenchyma. So parenchyma is just a kind of tissue in the plant. Then B, lateral meristem. So lateral meristem will be having meristematic tissue, but just it will helps in increasing the girth in the plant. So in the lateral region, the growth is takes place by lateral meristem. Then option C, apical meristem. So apical meristem add new tissues to the plant in the terminal region, as well as it helps in the formation of axillary bud. Then option D, intercalary meristem. So intercalary meristem helps in increasing the internodal length in the plant. So the correct option is option C, apical meristem. Is the next question, parenchyma provides. So parenchyma is one type of parenchyma. So parenchyma tissue in different region of the plant and in different kinds of plants, it is get modified to perform different functions. So you might have heard the name chlorenchyma. So chlorenchyma is a modified parenchyma for photosynthesis. So you can give the example of spongy parenchyma and palisade parenchyma. So these two parenchyma tissues, they are modified for photosynthesis. And in some plants like aquatic plants, we can see the modification of parenchyma tissue for the storage of air. Clear? So parenchyma is such a kind of parenchyma tissue. So here it is modified to store air. Clear, right? So why it is storing air? So it give buoyancy to the plant. So in the aquatic plant, they need to float on the surface of water, so that parenchyma tissues are present in their leaves. They helps in buoyancy. So let us see the option. Option A, flexibility to plants. So parenchyma is not providing flexibility to plants. Clear. Then option B, mechanical strength to plants. So mechanical strength is actually giving by sclerenchyma or by collenchyma. Then option C, buoyancy to hydrophytic plants. So hydrophytic plants are the plants they are growing in water. So for buoyancy, that means to help the plant to float on the water surface, parenchyma tissues will be present. So the correct one is option C. Then option D, promoting nature of photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is takes place by chlorenchyma tissue in the plant. So parenchyma function is it provide buoyancy to hydrophytic plants.